Ready?
Yep.
Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It's us, Ethan and Abraham. We're so glad you guys are here. This is How I Met Your Fandom, and we are here for episode 2. Guys, thank you so much for saying kind things on our last episode. Really appreciate everyone who went through and watched it, and it got 5 likes. Five likes. That's awesome. It's incredible. But we really hope that it really will pick up traction and continue to grow. Ibby and I have been talking, and we think there's room to grow the fandom. We think How I Met Your Fandom could will start off this first season. We'll really heavily talk about How I Met Your Father, because that's something we're really excited about so far. But we've seen a lot of other podcasts or just like YouTube channels in general getting a lot of traction off of doing like reactions to animes and stuff like that. And I think there's room for us to be able to do that, because Ibby and I watch a lot of the same animes. Like we literally go into his room and chill and watch anime, and it's great. It's fun. And we love Marvel and DC and all these things and crazy fan theories and reworks and all this stuff. So I don't know if there's someone posted on our last video, Will Sanders. Thank you for posting. Saunders, my bad. Thank you for posting. And it said, do Peacemaker. I haven't watched Peacemaker yet. Ibby loves it. He's trying to get me on it, and when I get the time, I'm gonna burn through it, because I know it's good.
But, it's so good.
So that's the kind of stuff that we would love. That kind of feedback. What else would you guys want to hear us potentially riff about, or talk about, and just like watch and talk to you guys about? So
yeah, man. Attack on Titan, My Hero Academia, any of those Marvel shows and movies.
Demon Slayer.
Demon Slayer. Yeah. Got the drip. Demon Slayer, the most swagged out anime I've ever seen.
Yeah. I love X-Men. I personally love X-Men and
X-Men.
Like that.
Yeah, man. We can. How I Met Your Fandom. What is your fandom?
Yeah.
This title works on multiple levels. It's actually really awesome. I am a genius.
Yeah, he was his ideas. We were riffing ideas, and he said fandom. I'm like, oh, it's perfect. Yeah. That's the one. But with that being said, we're gonna go ahead and start episode 2. So, guys, if you guys didn't see the last episode, or maybe you've forgotten, basically we're going through each episode of How I Met Your Father in order, but we're not always going to go in order of How I Met Your Mother, because it's almost guaranteed there's going to be way more episodes of How I Met Your Mother than there's How I Met Your Father. I mean, it's kind of a given. So but we're going to start off with doing an episode recap. So Ibby, why don't you take it away? Episode recap.
Yeah, man. So in this episode, Sid and Val convince their best friends, Jesse and Sophie, to get out, right? Sophie's moping over the loss of Ian. It's been like a week, which, man, the continuity of this show is on point.
Yeah.
I don't know How Much Mother was that like that. You know what I mean?
I actually watched a video about that today.
Yeah?
They were on point.
They were on point?
Yeah.
Okay, just making sure.
It's pretty, I'll show it to you.
Sweet. I need to know. I'm like, man, y'all really are just time.
It's impressive.
And yeah, I appreciate that a lot. I love continuity. I'm give a tangent here. My biggest problem with watching a show like Always Sunny in Philadelphia, it's hilarious, but it's just every day is something, and it's like, where am I? What year is it? You know, I feel so disoriented. I really like, you have to have a linear story, and hell, put a calendar on it. I'm in. You know, oh wait, it's Tuesday now. Nice, cool. But anyways, back to it. Yeah, Sophie's been moping around for a week. Meanwhile, Jesse's been moping around for a longer time because, he got dumped pretty harshly on YouTube. It went viral.
It's a traumatic dumping.
He is actually within his rights,
right,
in my opinion.
I agree.
Yeah, I mean, come on. Tinder date goes wrong all the time. But come on now. Who goes viral on a breakup? Anyways, they get convinced to go out. Sophie and Val are trying to find a friend for Charlie, because Charlie is suffocating Val, and we've all been there. No, I mean, and he can't say it on the air. But well, in order to get Jesse there, they think that it's I feel like I'm messing this up. Jesse thinks that it's Sophie's trying to get together, like it's all a play. Yeah, we're gonna get Charlie out. Wink, wink. No, they think it's a setup. So it's really a setup for Charlie, but they think it's a setup for Sid and Jesse think it's a setup for Jesse and Sophie. They go to this club called FOMO, Fear of Missing Out. Great name for a club, which What was the name of the club that How I Met Your Mother goes to? They go to some super swanked out club
Yeah,
too.
I actually just watched the episode. And I
Yeah.
forgot what it was
Is
called.
it the first time you see the umbrella? I think the mother was there. But yeah, they go to this crazy club where every room is something different. It's actually upon rewatching the episode, I'm thinking, how big is this space? It must be clearing millions a weekend to keep the space open in New York City. But yeah, and it just becomes a classic case of miscommunication where Sophie's not really interested in meeting anybody right now, and Charlie is super interested in making friends, but Jesse and Sid are not aware, and they get their wires crossed. But in the end, they were both where they needed to be. They explained to each other where they are in their relationships and then their status, and it really solidified them as friends in this episode. Like, if you're watching these two episodes, what I really like about this show versus How I Met Your Mother, it seems to be two groups of friends who are coming together and molding into one group of friends. And that second episode is what puts that nail in there.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, well said. And it really does play out that way, and which is definitely really cool because How I Met Your Mother was very much like this group was already here and they met Robin, which technically the show is How I Met Your Mother and everyone knows how that ends.
Yeah.
But yeah, and this show has like it's cool because there's going to be a time of conflict in which you guys will like see in later episodes of like, where does the friend group gonna end up like falling together? It's almost like you guys going from middle schools and then merging into like the freshman academy or anything like that, where it's like all of a sudden the middle schools are now like just like forced together, and how are all the pieces gonna fall down? Like who is going to control what aspect of what, and friend groups change and grow and get different. Made me think a whole lot about identifying each one of these characters for some value they have is going to be really important. And I imagine there will be an episode coming up about identity of the friend group, like who is what, or who's missing something, or who doesn't feel like they're bringing enough to be part of this friend group.
Oh my gosh! Yeah, remember those friends?
Yeah.
Like, what do they actually bring to the table? You know what I mean? They're here at the table every day at lunch.
Yeah.
But what do they bring besides the chicken sandwich?
Yeah. We've had a lot of conversations about this episode, but we'll leave some names out of it. But yeah. But yeah, and I really like this episode too. I think it had some really awesome. My favorite part about is it really shed some light on Ellen and Charlie. And I think those two are becoming my like the characters that I really like to have like things happening. Whereas like I liked everyone in How I Met Your Mother, but like when Barney was in play, it was a funny thing. You know what I mean? Like it was easy to say Barney's really really a fixation point for me, I'd say. And so I like these two side characters of Ellen and Charlie coming in. I think they're going to be really funny and have good development. I'm excited to see how it goes.
And like we said before, they're kind of. I mean, all the characters kind of a mix of all the other characters from How I Met Your Mother, but these two really seem to be like a split of Barney, right?
Yeah.
From 5 to 6, they just kind of just cut Barney in half. Got all the handsome, like debonair swagger of Barney and Charlie,
bouginess and all
that. And Charlie, exactly. And then you have all like the hilarity and the I don't know, misguided playboy womanizing on Ellen, who is also lesbian. So it's just there's a really, really cool division between those two characters alone. So like for everything you like in Barney, you're getting it twofold.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be really, really fun to watch them in the show. I think they introduced a reoccurring joke that we'll see in the future. Which I'm all about it because I think it's hilarious.
It is hilarious. It was funnier the second time.
Yeah. The Momoa joke, the reoccurring texting of Momoa and Momoa lookalikes, and the ultimate FOMO Moa. When she delivered that line, I was like, that's pretty good.
That's hilarious. Yeah. And just like on that same tip, like just don't get rid of Ian. Right. I think Ian's still in play. So like if they can just every season, whatever Ian's up to, just kind of, what are you doing? I got another Momoa picture for Ian over here.
Yeah.
And then just do the same thing, just flashback. Last week he sent me this one. You know what I mean? It was like Momoa and a boa or something like that. Like I'm all in. Keep that joke train running.
And I think, yeah, I think like you said, I think that is going to be. Oh well, no, you said beforehand. This is a really good callback to older, old joke in the last.
Doppelganger recurring joke.
Yes.
Yes. Another joke that I hope they just bring in full stop. I said in the last episode, I think, like, forget it. Like, don't worry about copying. That was a brilliant joke. And we all have doppelgangers. We talked about that before. So, yeah, they're already kind of like evolving it with the Momoa thing, which is hilarious. But if they want to give me like a Lizzie McGuire, a Hillary Duff doppelganger, you know what I mean, who is like some sort of like long haul trucker or something like that, please do. Yeah. Give me a doppelganger for all 6 of those characters throughout the whole series. And if it comes down to it being 5 seasons rather than 9, they better like pull 3 of them into one.
But yeah, no. So you made a joke about it earlier, but I don't mind talking about it. But like I think most of us have been in Hilary Duff's Sophie's shoes about in the beginning of the episode. Sitting there feeling lonely in bed about this awful thing that's just happened. I think it really helps shed. That's going to be a big. That won't be an anchor for me anymore. But I know back in How I Met Your Mother, when Ted was going through those things, and they were often parallels of like my relationships or anything like that. It was really easy to automatically latch onto Ted, and be like, yeah, I feel that, man. I feel that. I know that. So, but for that being said, like, I said, I wrote it down as daydreaming during loneliness, like sitting there thinking about what you might have lost or what you could have had, and we feel for her. But luckily, she's got a good friend that gets her up, gets her working out, and tells her they're going out for a club. Like it's a good friend. Is this the?
Actually, reminds me of one time when you went through a breakup and you're like, when you go out, I'm going out. All right, say less. On some Barney Stinson shit.
Those you don't know me very well. I'm kind of a homebody. I like staying home. But yeah, there was a time where I like made it be making me go places and stuff like that. So
it was the opposite.
Yeah,
literally the opposite. Like, I don't want to be here anymore. I want to be out in the clubs with the people.
Yeah,
take me where the people are.
Yeah. But it's funny, I think that's the first time you ever took me to a local Tulsa club called Electric Circus.
Yeah.
And which, in a weird way, is kind of FOMO-y.
It is.
It's like a room. Each room has something different going
4
on.
rooms, except one of the rooms is kind of off limits, the IDL. But yeah, like 4 rooms for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Super cool place.
Yeah.
A lot of interesting people.
Oh my gosh.
You were meeting a lot of people there.
Yeah.
But we forgot to mention about one of the subplots in this episode between Val and Charlie.
Yes. Yeah. So yeah, Val and Charlie, they're going through their own. It's kind of one-sided, actually. It's one-sided within a week, mind you. It's kind of crazy how fast it happens. And honestly, considering how fast a relationship happens, it's not that crazy. Ellen said that their relationship is doomed from the start, and it's hilarious. But yeah, they love each other on the bridge. Yeah, I could love this place too. And then a week later, it's like, I can't stand this guy. He is too much. But Charlie has no friends. He dropped everything. Probably didn't have a lot of friends over there either. Because you know what's really hard when it comes to moving? Leaving your friends.
I wouldn't know about that.
Well, what? You definitely do. I thought you were talking about me. And that was hard. I was going for 6 months. You were going a lot longer. But yeah, man, this dude legit dropped everything and moved across the pond to be with a girl he barely knew. Tells me he probably have a lot of friends to talk him out of that one. But yeah, he has no friends, so he's latching on to Val the whole time, and she needs to pawn him off. To the point where like she's really ready to break up with him, which again, they kind of self-reference this, how like they're going to make these immature decisions, and help them become more grown up in the future. But like they're like 30 right now. Like no, this is a very high school way of breaking up, especially the text message. Hillary Duff calls her out on it. The text message is not how you do this.
Yeah.
So hits that plot there. They're trying to get Charlie in with the boys here, Jesse and Sid, and that goes awry because they weren't aware of it.
Yeah. And I didn't catch it the first time around. The second time around watching it in preparation for this, you know what joke that is?
What's that?
You know whose problem that is? Future Ibby's problem.
It's Future Ibby's problem. Oh my God.
When them deciding to default to a bad decision is them saying, you know what, we can do that right now because we're young.
You're
It
young.
doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So.
That's Future Ted's problem.
Yeah.
That's Future Marshall's problem. Oh my God. That was, talk about like taking things into your real life. We legit took that.
Oh, yeah, oh, yeah, we did.
When we were young and living on our own.
Yeah.
There's a lot of Future Ibby problems. Yeah, and those problems came.
They come back around.
Yeah,
They don't go anywhere. Oh my gosh, that's so funny. But yeah, that's why we're saying, guys, this show is so good because of how spot on relatable it is, and even through How I Met Your Mother all the way to How I Met Your Father. So it's really great. That being said, though, I will say there was one thing in this episode that really I didn't like, and I can't figure out why it happened, but I think them having a young bartender coach them through slang, modern slang, is like, I thought it was off. First of all, I knew what everything they said was. Yeah. Okay. Like,
I even knew when he was wrong.
Right.
Like that's not right.
That's not right. Yeah.
Why'd you say it like that?
Yeah. Why'd you say it like that? So that's it's I don't know. Like we talked about, like, maybe it's because the writers are actually a little bit older, and it could be, maybe there's got to be some kind of disconnect somewhere, or maybe
sometimes jokes don't land.
Yeah, maybe they just don't land. Maybe we're on a different part of the spectrum of millennials where, like, I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, this guy legit works with kids. Yeah. So like he's on TikTok. I'm not even on TikTok. He's probably more youthful than I am. So maybe we're just more hip millennials than I don't know what they think their audience is. But yeah, that kid was not saying anything I didn't already know. Yeah, like I've been saying bet since I was in like middle school. Get out of here. Yeah, that's not his.
Yeah. And like, so I think a word they could have gone with, like, that would have made it funnier, and because I've seen this happen in real life, as an adult trying to use this and then not landing, is bussin'.
Yeah.
Like that's a word that like I say adult try to use this, but like, yeah, like that, that's a word that I feel like our us and up are like trying to like make work, and it's like the kids have already kind of moved past it a little bit. You know what I mean? So
good. I actually hated that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bussin'. No, yeah, it's I don't. That was my own little critique, is like, if this is a show actually directed towards millennials, that joke felt weird, but
yeah,
I don't mind you dissing millennials, because we do some stupid things, but
exactly.
like that ain't one of them. Like,
it kind of reminds me of whenever the boomers tried to blame the Tide Pods on us.
Yeah,
like, that's not us. We don't own that.
We don't do that.
Yeah. Look at the line. That's that kid behind the bar right there.
Yeah,
it's his people.
Yeah,
doing it for the gram.
Oh my gosh. But yeah, moving into the episode callback, we had 2 episodes we really wanted to talk about.
Oh wait, are you missing something? What about Drops of Jupiter, my friend?
You're right, guys.
The boppiest bop of the early 2000s.
I loved that they referenced this song in this episode
twice.
Yeah, and in the completion of it, it's Jesse and Sophie. It's both of their comfort song. I think that's pretty awesome.
It is. Yeah, it's a beautiful song. I'm a firm believer of like what sharing music is like a love language. You know what I mean? And these two, like, again, talk about solidifying their friendship. It's like, you like Drops of Jupiter, which, as popular as a song is, I feel like it's also like somehow esoteric. You know what I mean? Like, it's a song that everyone knows. But is everybody going to just like break out singing it? Is that the song you put on the jukebox if you have a quarter? You know what I mean? And then when somebody does it, you're like, oh my God.
Yeah.
I fucks with this person.
Yeah.
That's the hit. That's a bop.
When it doesn't get skipped.
Yeah.
That's I don't know. It's great. And I think the imagery of the song is really good for this episode. They're talking about the song is essentially about someone asking or needing space, and so all the references are about the actual space and the galaxies and like the universe and stuff like that, which brings it all back down. Ted's always talking about the universe and all that kind of. I don't know. It's just the perfect song for this episode, and it's
Did you miss me while you were looking for yourself out there? Yeah, man. What a beautiful song. Yeah. And it's almost like it can be platonic too. You know what I mean, it goes both ways.
Yeah.
In the sense that like these two both need their space, but we're here for each other.
I saw a hilarious, oddly enough, like literally, I don't know, a couple weeks ago, I saw this hilarious TikTok, not knowing that we were going to be talking about Drops of Jupiter, that said, can you imagine you end up writing one of the best songs in the world just because she needs some space? It's got Drops of Jupiter playing in the background.
Exactly, right?
Like,
well, hey, real talk, that kind of happens on the show, right? Like Jesse gets broken up with, and his girlfriend becomes a pop star to some degree. They don't really talk about her fame level, but she's going on tour. So there's that. You know what I mean? She's in Europe for a reason. So yeah, let's call her a C-level talent. You know what I mean? But yeah, they broke up and her career popped off. You know what I mean? Like that's in hip hop we say give you something to rap about. You know what I mean? Like she took those emotions and those details and those experiences and made art at his expense.
Dang. Well, with all that being said, let's move into our episode callbacks. So for your episode, you really wanted to reference episode 3 of How I Met Your Mother, called A Sweet Taste of Liberty. Tell us about
it. Sweet. No, SpongeBob. Anyways, yes, great episode. Just rewatching this show again and just reminding myself, man, this show hits so hard, even like 2 decades later. But yeah. Episode 3 is when there's two plots going on. Obviously, it's the boy plot. And it's actually 3 plots going on, kind of. It's the boys. It's the boys' night out. You know what I mean? It's Barney. He's single. It's Ted. He's single. Meanwhile, you have Robin. She's new to the friend group, and Lily has a female friend to play with. So they go out, and then Marshall is like, "I gotta stay inside and study." Lame. That doesn't last very long. Ted is or Barney's is determined, to go out and pick up girls his way, the Barney way. And I know that Barney's antics haven't exactly aged well, probably rightfully so. But if there was any, I don't know, denial that these writers didn't know what they were doing, rewatch this episode, because him and Ted pick up women in an airport. It is the dumbest pickup move I've ever seen. I actually can't believe they actually did that. But whenever they explain themselves to the TSA, because they get busted throwing bags onto the carousel, he calls him an idiot. You know what I mean? That is the stupidest. There's no way the TSA officer's like, there's no way you did that. And this is how I know. That is so lame. But yeah, Barney is determined to, show Ted how to live. Love that, honestly, I really do. That's really honorable. No, like I don't know, word for friends. You know what I mean? It's a really noble thing for a friend to do. And you know what I mean? Like, just show you how to live. I'm going to make sure you have a good time all the time. The problem is it's not a good time. It's a really bad time to have. Ted does not want to be part of it at all. He really wants to leave. Almost every turn he wants to leave. I mean, at the airport, this is dumb. Let's go home. They get busted by TSA, and they manage to get away. Let's go home. Barney overhears some girls flying to Philadelphia, and he convinces them to fly to Philadelphia. That was a mistake. And when they get there, instead of just going home, Barney convinces them to go out with one of the TSA people at their house. They're having a party, and that party was also hella lame. And just from every turn, they're having a bad time. But Barney refuses to give up on the play. He is determined to have a good time. He is just going, he can't lose. He cannot lose. And I'm just like, come on, man, you got to. I'm watching this, and I'm like, my own like anxiety and my own like subconscious is just like, just call it. Just go home.
Yeah,
pack it up.
Night.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Marshall's over here having a horrible time studying, and he's on his way to have a good time. FOMO. It's the FOMO part, the fear of missing out. He cannot sit at home and study while his two best friends are out having a good time. At least what what he thinks is a good time. It's a horrible time. But in the end, when they're finally going home, Barney manages to convince Ted to do one last thing: lick the Liberty Bell. Wow. Yeah, that's a crazy invitation. And I would have said no. Honestly, I'm still questioning how they did it. Oh wait, they met somebody. They met somebody who worked there. Yeah, like it sounds hella illegal, but they do it, and it turns out to be a really good story.
Yeah.
Turns out this entire episode was Ted telling the story to a girl at the bar, and just harkening back to fear of missing out. Ted didn't always want. He says this about multiple stories. He didn't always want to be along for the ride, but he's glad he did, because for better or for worse, he always had a good story out of it. And on a friendship level, what I really thought on we're talking about unfurling characters is how Charlie and Ellen are kind of like getting some more exposure, considering they're not the main characters. Barney really had a cathartic moment there as well, right? He's supposed to be the clown. He's supposed to be there for jokes.
Yeah.
And he really opens up in that taxi.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That line hit hard.
It hit hard.
Yeah.
I know I'm not your best friend. You don't have to say it, but you're mine.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, man, there's some real shit right there. And then on some bathos, they just undercut it with a joke. I'm so glad you're in, because we're already going there.
Yeah, they don't want you feeling too bad for too long. Yeah.
He already redirected the taxi to get there. But yeah, meanwhile, on the flip side, Lily is having her own sort of FOMO. Even though she's in the moment, she has a wedding ring on, and she just misses being hit on, right? Robin is getting all the attention. She's just chopped liver.
Yeah.
Yeah, she can't stand it. And Marshall's over here not making her feel any better.
Yeah. Do whatever you want.
Yeah.
Take it off.
Take it off. Yeah, until... Oh, wow, I didn't even think about that. He gets a little bit of FOMO.
Yeah.
Right? He gets a little... After saying that, he's like, he regrets it a lot. Never take this ring off again. Oh my God, I've never been in a fight before. Yeah, great episode.
Yeah. And I really like a couple things about that episode too. That it really, I mean, like all the stuff you hinted on for sure is it's definitely like the how it calls back to, or not. It doesn't call back because it goes forward to our episode. What's a reverse callback?
Reverse callback.
Future sight.
Future sight. Yeah, it predicts.
Alludes.
Yeah, alludes.
Foreshadows. I don't know. I don't know what all these
literary terms. Words, yeah, 8th grade. Oh, Miss Cootie would be so disappointed.
But yeah, I like how there's identifiable characters here that are like literally like like for me. Barney is Sid and Val in this episode.
Yeah, he's that friend who wants to get Ted out.
Yeah,
he's Val in that moment, right? I need to get Ted out of here. He's my best friend. We're going to go hit the town. And pick up some girls. And of course Sid, same thing with Jesse. Like, no, this is what it is. This is why I'm not giving up. Like it is this. Exactly.
I promise you it is this. And stuff like that. So I think that's pretty cool. That it's crazy how it lines up like that. But my callback episode is Blitzgiving, season 6, episode 10 of How I Met Your Mother. Blitzgiving, really cool episode. Basically, it's this concept of there's a dedicated person called the Blitz who can obtain this curse where the second you leave a room, something really awesome happens, and the only way to get rid of the curse is to be a person who leaves the room before the Blitz, and then having something cool happen that then the Blitz transfers to the other person who became the Blitz. And awesome guest star, the big guy from the island,
Hurley from Lost.
Can't
remember his name, his actual name, but he's Hurley from Lost.
And he did great. His name is Jorge Garcia.
Boom.
And he did great in the episode. He was hilarious. He played this. He had this line, "Oh man," and then every time when it would transfer to someone else, it would be like, "Oh man," and Really good episode, and the whole concept, the way it relates to FOMO is like this guy's had FOMO his whole life, and but he has to like own it. The fact that like he is the Blitz, and then the second the Blitz gets passed on to Ted, and all of a sudden they're so funny how they introduce like a bunch of inside jokes that they literally learned that night. And they're selling it so hard, like the gentleman.
Yeah.
It's like it's so funny how like it's just in that it kind of like this episode makes me think of New Girl a lot. You know, it's
I
like
was
they just
literally
like
just thinking about that.
they just have some funny things.
Yeah, well, a lot of inside jokes that make you feel like you've been inside it. You know what I mean? For a long time.
Yeah.
And then sometimes they have that outsider who's just like, maybe like Jess's boyfriend who's just like, what's going on here?
Yeah. So yeah, there's a whole another like deeper plot, like main plot that's overarching through that episode. It's kind of like a filler episode, but it covers up. I mean, this is when Ted first realizes he actually could potentially like this girl who is her name escapes me right now. But
she's not the mother.
She's not the mother, yeah. But they've had this will they won't they thing going for a while, and then now all of a sudden it's very clear that they will. And yeah, so cool episode. But the whole parallel between the reason why Sweet Taste of Liberty and Blitzgiving all tie in so well with episode 2, FOMO, of How I Met Your Father, is all 3 of these episodes land in like with this profound statement. It's like right there in that moment, I realized I didn't need anything else. I was happy. And man, like I think we were just talking about the suspect things we were doing back when we lived in the trap house.
Yeah.
And
inside joke.
Yeah, and sorry guys. But it's like when we lived back in that like awful place, there were still times that we were like fine.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it was like it'd be like you, me, and B Mart, just like sit on the couch, you know, watching some movie or watching How I Met Your Mother or Game of Thrones, because that's what that was popping off back
Walking
then.
Dead,
Walking Dead, and like man. It would end, and we'd just be like, "Wow, that was great," and like we didn't need anything else. And it's like, so I think this is like a really cool episode because it can really teach you. It can. I think this is cool because if there are younger people watching the show, like 18 to 24 years old, who are like trying to figure out, oh, I need to be having as much fun as I can right now. I need to be Barney.
Yes.
Or I need to be at FOMO, or I need to be out all these things. At the end of the day, it's like finding that place where you can go to where you're surrounded by people you love and that love you, and it's like, man, that's just pure. You know what I mean?
Pure. Yeah.
That's just pure. I love that's where they landed on, and I think it's important. So
yeah. And then we had also on that same tip, we had Ellen, who just kind of had like her own little revelation, right? You know, Ellen, she's divorced and she's really raring to get out there. It's kind of on the flip side. She wants to get out there because she wants to, you know, prove to herself something. And she does. She gets out there and she strikes out. And striking out
6 times.
6 times. That can be, I mean, hell, 1 time can just be devastating.
Yeah.
But to get out there and just miss, you know what I mean? She's literally on the opposite of what Jesse and Sophie are.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They both had their own little heartbreaks. She's had a kind of a harder one, right? She's been divorced.
Yeah.
And now she's out here just trying to get out there. She's like an inspirational tale for the 2 of them. I don't think those 2 pick up on just yet.
Yeah.
She's out there really trying to make it, and she's failing. And it's all that matters is that she tried.
Yeah. And she's so excited, like, the pond is huge.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
There's the fish in the pond, there's a ton because the pond is huge. Like she's not in a puddle anymore. She's in a lake.
Yes.
Yeah, good for her, you know. Yeah. Which that I guess, I mean, that can bring us that can pull us forward to what we expect to come from here. I really have enjoyed character development so far. but there's 6 of them,
Mm-hmm.
so it's hard.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's gonna be a challenge, but I really do expect them to figure out how to get us to fall in love with each one of these characters.
Need more episodes, and I think they're getting it in season 2.
Yeah,
I think I've already seen that they're getting more episodes. So, that's the streaming culture, guys. You know what I mean? Like, I was very disappointed. I think it's only going to be 10 episodes this season. Like, that's kind of whack, but also that's just kind of how it goes, right? You don't have any ads.
right.
There's no ad revenue, so they're being forced to tell a more concise story. And it's value in that, too. There's definitely value in that, but just like, this is kind of a sequel series, so I'm over here just expecting, like, yeah, man, I'm about to see 24 episodes a season of all my favorite friends.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm getting less of them because of the nature of the beast. But yeah, I'm pretty sure they got double the series order next season. So
That's good.
hopefully they'll expand some of their storytelling.
That's good. I mean,
Don't quote me on that, fandom.
between you and me, I mean, we're watching like 5 times.
Yeah.
So it's like, they should. I mean, the numbers probably looking good.
Yeah.
We're trying to help them out as much as we can.
If they need sponsors or if they need somebody to boost them, I mean, we are for sale.
But yeah, I really do need them because I've like I said, I've attached to Ellen and Charlie. I can't wait to figure out, like, they're the ones I'm curious about. I can't wait to see how it plays out. Like,
Mhm.
like Jesse feels like Ted. Jesse's got this doom and gloom thing. It's kind of easy. That arc is a little predictable. If
Mhm.
they throw me for a loop, I hope they do. That'd be
Mhm.
awesome, as
Mhm.
long as it makes sense.
Yeah, it's almost really Jesse has the largest shoes to fill,
Yeah,
and it's not his fault.
right.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm not gonna lie, I'm watching this guy and I'm like, man, you are not Ted.
Yeah.
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 If the show has any faults, I'm like, man, you are not Ted. But I'm rooting for him all the same. And I love, again, we talk about this, just like, I'm a really big fan of the occupations. You know what I mean? These people are real people today. And Ted's this architect. I have never met an architect in my life. Never. Closest one is Adam. And he dropped out of that school. Well, he didn't drop out of school. He just switched gears.
Yeah.
He's like, I am not going to be an architect.
I've only met like 16, 7-year-old architects. You know,
Yeah,
like, they're all
yeah.
like old. Like,
Exactly. Yeah. One of the most unrealistic things that I think How Much Mother ever did was have Ted Mosby design and launch a skyscraper at 32 or
right.
something like that. And
Yeah.
I just don't think you do that.
Yeah.
I just don't think you do. That's that you're, from what I understand, you are just grafting. Let me know, fandom, what architects do before 32. But yeah. Jesse is a struggling musician, and I am hype. Especially, I've been watching ahead. I am hype to see what that becomes.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think within the series it's going to be definitely a finale thing. I don't think he's ever going to be a superstar. But again, you know what I mean? Like, artists are artists, and
Right.
if he can just sustain himself off of his work, I'll be satisfied. You know what I mean? He gets just a following on Spotify or whatever music thing. Well, Tinder exists, so I'm sure they can use Spotify. Yeah. Whatever quantifies success in this to him, I hope he gets it.
Yeah. I mean, just on that tip, because I mean, they show you the clip of him singing to the breakup song or whatever. It's like, he's not great.
Yeah.
So I don't see him making a hit, but I see the success for him. I like would them to him like get like freaking teacher of the year and then become like the head of the music department.
That works
something
too.
like
That's more
something wrong.
practical.
Right.
Yeah, that works too. And
Something
like,
he actually cares about. You
you're
know,
not
like,
wrong. And again, on that, like, just from watching ahead, I don't think it's where his success lies either.
Yeah.
He wasn't the lead singer of their band. She was. He's the piano player and a songwriter.
That's true.
So, like, wherever that skill set leads him is where I want him to be. You know what I mean? So there's an episode, skipping ahead, there's an episode where he's literally just trying to write a song. And I don't think it's for him. He's just on some, not Bruno Mars. It's a bad example. He's a singer, a beautiful singer. I can't think of any bad singers who are songwriters, but Lady Gaga for a long time
Beatles.
The Beatles. Boom, all of them. Hot take. Beatles, bad singers, great songwriters. But yeah, I was just saying, like, Lady Gaga for a long time before she was Lady Gaga, she was just writing music.
Yeah.
So you know what I mean? Like, if he could just make his Adele's husband, ex-husband, I should say, was a songwriting partner. No one talks about him though. A lot of songs about him.
The man we're all curious about.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I think it's a pretty firm expectation that when they if and when they get more episodes, yeah, we need to see some continuity of character development.
Mm-hmm.
Did I say that right?
Did
I put too many syllables?
I think you did, but now I'm messing it up.
Continuity.
Continuity, yeah.
Yeah. Continuity. Continuity.
Constantinople, Istanbul, yeah.
Yeah. I want to see character development over a continued point of time kind of thing, and yeah, that's one. But I also have a hope, and this is one I was saving. I didn't tell you about this one because I think it'd be really funny. But I want Jesse to find the playbook, Jesse and Sid to find the playbook somehow.
Yeah.
And here's how I want them to do it.
The playbook from How I Met Your Mother, guys.
Oh, yeah.
In case you don't remember, it's Barney's documented book of plays that can never fail, which is not true. But
yeah, you have it in your room, don't you?
Not anymore. I mean, I have it. Don't get me wrong. It exists. It's just not in my room.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It could be anywhere.
Could be anywhere in his house.
We've moved a couple of times.
Yeah.
But here's how I want them to do it. You know the Harry Potter movie where he finds the book that has all the OP spells in it?
Yeah.
And is that Half-Blood Prince? Is that one?
I don't remember.
But I want them to do it like that, to where like it's super like they present it in a way where all of a sudden he's like changing little by little, like throughout the episode he like becomes uncharacteristically suave.
Yeah, he has a suit and everything.
Yeah, like and it ends up in a suit, and they're like, and then like they catch him like reading it or something. And he's like, and he's like, what is that? He's like, nothing. And he's like, it's like, you know, it's this magical, mystical thing that has changed this game.
And then it just turns him, like when they try to take it from him, it kind of turns like a golem. No. He's like a golem. He's like, my precious. Yeah.
That's how I want to see them do the playbook. I think it'd be hilarious.
Is it going to be so? You predict it to be successful, though? Is that what you want? You want it to, you know, maybe not all of them. The scuba diver will never work. But I'm saying, like, you're saying that there's some of these plays in there where he's actually going to execute them. It's going to work out for him. He's going to like hit that dopamine, and he's going to start playing into it more and more. So like,
but it's unhealthy for him.
Unhealthy because Barney, we know Barney's not healthy.
Yeah. Jesse's not like that. Well, he could be. I mean, hey, why did Barney become like that?
Exactly,
because that girl left him. So
That's great.
I think it'd be hilarious to present it like that, and I think it'd be really funny. It's like especially if they do like, it's such a callback, and if we like didn't know about it as the viewer, or like we didn't know they would even like do that. But since they're in the apartment, I almost like imagine like, because we know Barney has a manifesto about it or whatever, or something like that. If he just ever printed it and like hid it behind something in the apartment, like maybe just swords or something like that, like
exactly.
Like,
oh my gosh,
it'd just be hilarious.
We left the swords. Yeah. They left the swords, guys. How I Met Your Father writers, we are giving you bars.
Yeah, this is easy.
You know what I mean? Like, I know you're not watching, but in case you stumble upon this on a Google search, bars.
Good ideas.
Talking to you, writers. How I Met Your Father. That's a brilliant take. I like your take a lot better than mine. Mine's on the flip side. Still involves a playbook. But I think we called this before. And if we didn't, we're calling it now. Sid and his fiance aren't going to make it. I think that's doomed to fail. Long distance relationship. There's some elements that when you keep watching the series, you'll see there's sowing seeds of doubt. Whenever that ultimately fails, he's going to go through a Marshall phase whenever Lily broke off their engagement. The difference is that Lily is a core member of the cast. And I don't even know her name. Let's call her fiance. I think when she's gone, she's gone. And she might, satellite around, orbit around, but she's not involved in the core friend group. So he's going to be hurting, as he should be. They're going to find this playbook. And they're going to use it. They're gonna like, maybe they're both commiserating. I don't know. Maybe this is gold, man. This is gold. And because again, those plays are stupid. A lot of them are dumb. But these guys, one of them they're both heartbroken. You know what I mean? They're trying to get each other back out there, whatever. They might literally just be desperate enough to like be inspired by this book to get out there and try some of these plays, try some of these outlandish plays. That's my play. That's my hot take.
That'd be
not a hot take. I'm sorry. My prediction.
Yeah, that would be a more natural way.
Like, I like yours better. Don't get me wrong.
Mine is a one-off.
Yeah,
yours is like this could be over a couple episodes.
It could be. You really could. These two are just what plays next.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And an act of desperation, especially for Sid. Just even because again, like I don't know if Barney's antics, hold up anymore. Some of it could be predatory. You know what I mean? Just let's make a joke out of it. This book is not successful.
Right.
This is not a real book.
Yeah.
Some of these plays are whack, but like if it gives him any sort of like reason to just get back out there,
Yeah.
and they're gonna fail. You know what I mean? I like the idea of it working for Jesse on yours, but for these guys, they get out there. Maybe some work, some don't. Hell, they can. Is the Naked Man in the book?
Yeah, I think so.
The Naked Man is proven to work in that. In How Much Your Mother canon. Naked Man works. So if they pull that off, one of them pulls that off, and it only works for like what, 1 out of 5 or something like that. So it's not gonna work for both of them.
It's 1 out of 3.
1 out of 3.
Or no, is it 1 out of 3?
I can't remember, but yeah,
It's 2 out of 3.
It doesn't work.
It works for Lily.
It works for Lily, but it doesn't work for everybody else who does it. Right? That's the thing. Like, it works for Lily, but it doesn't work for.
It doesn't work for Barney.
It doesn't work for Barney. It doesn't work for Ted.
Oh, it works for the rando guy.
It works for the rando
it's
guy.
Barney, Ted, and rando guy, and it works on Robin, the rando guy.
Yes.
And then Lily is like the post credit. She tries it.
She tries it. Yeah.
But
And that doesn't count. Yeah, of course, it works on Marshall. That's asterisk.
Yeah.
But yeah. That'd be really, really funny just to see them like try to play some of these plays for better, for worse, and see if it pulls Sid out of his slump.
Yeah. So you heard it here. First fandom, we want the playbook to come back in some manner of comedic fashion. It'll be great.
Bro code too while they're at it.
Yeah, bro code. Oh, for sure.
Yeah, hell, let Ellen spearhead that one.
Yeah.
You know
That'd be
what I
good.
mean?
That'd be a fun one.
We read the pro code. Girls can be bros.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Let her, like, guys, the bro code. And they're like, what? Let me fill you in some game.
So, that being said, let's move on to hot takes. So we guys, last week we said on the video that it'd be incredible if you guys bring to us your hot takes. We want to know, what do you guys think is gonna happen? What's the hot take about the show? And so we're gonna try to think of some wacky, zany potential things to come up maybe. Yeah, but so far we haven't had anyone give us any predictions. But if you guys got some, just put it down in the comments and we'll read them off. Ibby, tell me about your hot take. What do you got?
My hot take is that Charlie becomes a homie hopper.
Homie hopper.
Homie hopper. You don't know what that means? You all know what that means. You all know about in this case, it's the man, but let's just say anyone who man or female who breaks up with their significant other and then starts to sleep with their friends. Homie hopping. We all know Charlie and Val ain't gonna make it. Sid's not gonna make it with his fiance. Those two aren't gonna make it. They're doomed to fail. My hot take is that Charlie's gonna end up sleeping with Sophie at some point. I'm not sure if Charlie could be the father. He's in play too, but if he's not the father, he's gonna be just a step along the way.
Yeah.
One of many bodies that Sophie collects, and vice versa. He's a handsome man. You know what I mean? There was some interplay in How I Met Your Mother, so yeah. I just it's gonna be interesting to see it from the female perspective, because Ted and Barney had to square that circle.
Yeah, they did.
You know what I mean? So that's two bros, best friends, if you will, from one perspective. Yeah. So how will it be from the female perspective?
Yeah, that was the one from How I Met Your Mother is such an interesting dynamic, because like Robin was also a bro. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Robin was very much a bro.
She was a wingman often for both of them. Mm-hmm. So, and then was almost the chisel, or the wedge, I guess you'd say. Yeah, I think, I bet you I could put some eggs in that basket. I could see it happening. Mm-hmm. I could see it happening. Especially if they develop him enough and long enough for us to, because so far, Sophie seems to be able to find redeeming characteristics about like anybody. Mm-hmm. So far it seems like she's like easily just like, this is great, you're a great person. Yeah. And it's like almost like all Charlie would have to do is show her one instance of wholeheartedness, because it seems like that's the thing he is that he's wholehearted about himself.
Yeah, he's all in. I mean? About everything he does.
He like the cuff links and everything.
Yeah, dude, that's gonna be the real kicker, is that like I don't think this plays as just like a one night stand. You know what I mean? Charlie's not that kind of guy, I don't think. I mean, like, he's the kind of guy, he's done it before, as you will see if you keep watching. This is the guy who will follow you to the end of the world.
Yeah.
It's almost creepy.
Yeah.
But it's also
romantic.
hopeless romantic. He's Ted to like the nth degree. And if he ends up, you know, remotely falling for Sophie, it's not going to be just a one-off thing. It's going to be something that they have to, you know, play out.
Yeah. Well, here's my hot take. I think Ellen's ex-wife will become some sort of reoccurring character, and here's why. They own a business together.
Yep, she's not going anywhere.
And she's already mentioned her in both these episodes. I think as Ellen is trying to find her own in this friend group and you know, realize what Sophie and Ted realized in this thing is that they were in the right place where they needed to be with the right people. I think they will use this as a something that tries to make it to where Ellen feels like she can't be a part of the group, and it's like it's an outside source that she can't talk to any of them about because none of them have been married, and I imagine the way they would resolve it is like through Ellen and Sid. Like, if Sid does, which I'm in the same camp, Sid's it's not gonna work out. Then somehow that they're gonna have to be the ones that he's gonna have to be the one that helps her resolve this thing. Like, you belong in this group.
Yeah.
And it's because even though I don't know how it's gonna work out, but I imagine we will meet Ellen's ex-wife and she'll be some sort of recurring character.
I like how, at least from the beginning when you said this, you're talking about growing the characters of Charlie and Ellen, and both of our hot takes are about Charlie and Ellen.
Yeah,
that was not by design.
Wow, that was excellent.
Yeah, that was wonderful, serendipitous. If I've ever seen it.
They have the most potential.
Yeah,
I think, like I said, I'm fixated on them. I'm captivated. I want to know.
Yes,
I want to know what's gonna happen.
Yeah,
but man, well, guys, that's today's episode. Thank you so much for stopping in. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. I hope you guys enjoyed listening to us. Again, if you guys have any thoughts or comments, I mean, just put them down in the comments down below. And we hope to see you guys around in the next episodes, future episodes. You said there's 10 episodes for this season?
I believe so. Don't quote me on that, but
okay.
I think, yeah, episode 9 just happened. It ended with a to be continued, which is kind of silly considering how every episode continues.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like,
that is goofy.
I will see you next week.
Yeah. I'm gonna watch. But yeah, so we will be back for however many episodes there are in the first season. But then don't forget what we talked about at the beginning of the episode. If there's different types of fandoms that we want to peek into, you know, we're down for anything. Let us know some things you are interested in, and if we are mutually interested in, we would love to like maybe start a little branch off about that. So, yeah, we'll get it figured out.
Let's meet your fandom.
Yeah, let's meet your fandom. So, well, that's all. All is love saying bye. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Oh, I covered you up. Bye, everybody.